Max.
Yes.
We're getting to the end of college football season, believe it or not. It's only 3 weeks left.
That's true.
Only 3 games. Most of these teams, in fact, all of these teams, unless you're Hawaii. I think you get an extra game then. But
Army and Navy.
Army, Navy. For all intents and purposes, there are 3 regular season and then championship week. There's 1 more month of college football. So now we can start zeroing in on the postseason. We talked a little bit about TCU's path. I think now it gets a little bit clearer that if they beat Oklahoma, they're almost certainly in the college football, or they're in the Big 12 championship game. If they don't beat them, they've still got a good shot because they've got the head-to-head win over Oklahoma State. But they've got a good shot. But in any case, and by the way, there's a very good chance that North Texas plays in the Conference USA title game. So there's also that. And I think there may be a way for Houston to back into the AAC title game.
They're going to need a lot of help.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not dead on it, but
right.
They would need some.
They're going to need a significant amount of help.
Correct. Those are the teams that could be playing on championship weekend.
Right.
In any case, we can now start to take a look at bowl projections. And our friends at SBNation.com have their latest bowl projections up.
Right.
And they're rather interesting.
Yeah.
They project that TCU will be playing in the Cotton Bowl against Michigan State, a New Year's Six bowl for them.
Which the Cotton Bowl would be thrilled with because you'd actually get a crowd to show up for that one because of the local team being included. Now, obviously, this assumes that TCU will not escape the Big 12 and end up in the college football playoff.
They write this. The Big 12 is also in a pickle with either TCU or Oklahoma falling to 2 losses after the game next weekend. Absolutely true. And then quite possibly having a chance to return the favor weeks later at the Big 12 championship game, which is why the Big 12 championship game is dumb.
It remains the dumbest thing.
So the Big 12 is like right now, I think if you were laying bets, you would bet against a Big 12 team in the conference title game.
Yeah.
I think that is probably unless it's like you would have to beat probably whoever TCU and Oklahoma play. You'd have to beat them twice.
Right.
Like whoever wins that, you'd have to beat the other twice, presumably. Let's presume that TCU Oklahoma this week is a preview of the Big 12 title.
Yeah.
So they have Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, by the way. Now you get down.
No one cares where Oklahoma's be.
Yeah, I know, but it's important for the grand scheme of things.
I know.
Texas A&M. You know, there is a chance that we could see Texas and Texas A&M play if nobody behind the scenes pulls the strings to make sure it doesn't happen.
There's no way it'll happen.
I tend to think you're right.
I would love it if it was true, but it's not going to happen.
They project Texas A&M to play in the Music City Bowl against Indiana. Boy,
Woo.
Get excited. Get excited.
That's excited.
Indiana, like a middle-of-the-road Big Ten team.
I mean, Nashville's a nice place to visit, at least.
Yeah, Nashville's not bad.
Yeah.
I can't say that Nashville's crappy.
So there you go.
Then, how about the Texas Longhorns? Where would they go?
Oh man.
How about the Advocare V100 Texas Bowl against Mississippi State?
Yeah.
Then we would at least have kind of a mutual opponent between Texas and A&M.
Transitive
and
Properties
then we could have
Bowl.
a Transitive Properties Bowl.
Yeah.
We could do that. So that's Texas and Mississippi State in the Texas Bowl. This is where SB Nation projects them. As far as UTSA, they do project them to get to a bowl, which, by the way, is not guaranteed. They got a tough schedule down the stretch, and if they play offense like they did last week, then they're not going to get
They got to find some offense if they want to make sure they make a bowl.
In any case, right now they do project them to get to 6 wins, taking on Army in the Armed Forces Bowl.
Would be a
Fort
winnable
Worth.
game for them.
A winnable game for them,
Yeah.
and if you're Frank Wilson and you're thinking that you're going to be at UTSA for another year, which is a discussion for another day, then you're saying, hey, that's a Texas bowl game. I can, in a place that we can go and get recruits to.
Yeah.
Playing Army. So they got them in the Armed Forces Bowl. SMU, already bowl eligible, have them traveling to St. Petersburg for the St. Petersburg Bowl at the very unstable Tropicana Field.
Ooh.
Very unstable Tropicana Field. To take on Florida International.
An awful place to play game.
FIU. I got to tell you, SMU FIU doesn't do a whole lot for me.
SMU should win that running away.
They really
if they play well.
Exactly.
They should just kill them.
The new bowl this year is the Frisco Bowl, happening in Frisco, Texas, and it will involve, according to SB Nation, a Texas team, as Houston will take on Utah State. Utah State, the Aggies.
I'm sure there will just be a huge crowd for that one.
That doesn't get me very excited.
House for that game.
And finally, they clinched it last week. They clinched being bowl eligible for the first time.
This is a fun game.
Since 2013. The New Mexico Bowl in Albuquerque. The North Texas Mean Green take on Colorado State. I can get on board with that.
That's a fun game.
Colorado State's not a bad team.
No, North Texas would probably be a big underdog in that game
Mm-hmm.
if I were to guess what Vegas would put that game at. But that's an exciting matchup. Of all of these, that's probably the most interesting one to me.
Max,
is
how
on
do
the
you
list.
feel about your beloved Iowa State Cyclones going to the Liberty Bowl against Kentucky?
It's been worse.
Yeah.
Where is the Liberty Bowl? Is that
Memphis.
street? Oh, Memphis. Maybe you have to road trip to Memphis
It's like
for that one.
Beale Street and not a whole
What
lot else.
Memphis
though.
is? I've done this. It's like a 10-hour drive from
I
here.
think that's about right.
8 or no, not 8. It's got to be like 10 because I did it in one day.
You could go there and say whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Although, what day is it at? Liberty Bowl 2000.
Yeah, let's find this out. This is important.
It is
obviously.
on. That's not helpful. LibertyBowl.org says that it is on Saturday, December 30th.
It's
Whoosh,
more
whoosh,
it's
whoosh,
more
Max.
it's more tempting than it. But I could go to Graceland. So
You can go to Graceland. You
Yeah.
can go to Beale Street. You can get in
Yeah.
trouble. You can get in some trouble in Memphis.
I could do
Find
that.
some trouble. It's good.
I could do that.
Good, great music town. Great music town.
It's
If
not
you're-
Nashville, but it's
no,
a
but
good
if you're into the
music scene.
blues,
Yeah.
then like they got a lot of blues
for
bars
sure.
and it's a lot of fun.
They got
so.
good ribs there.
They do have good ribs.
Look, I'm not saying I'm against it. I might be a hard sell in the Thompson household, but who knows?
I think you can pull it off. Those are poll projections. You can see them at sbnation.com.